Bienvenidos, Fright fans! This is Jaime En Fuego. Thank you so very much for joining us today for a little bit of Enfuegotainment, more coverage of Tales from the Crypt with yours truly, Jaime En Fuego. And here at Enfuegotainment, we cover the hottest entertainment with an edge. Yes, I'm doing my best Crypt Keeper John Kassir impression here because I am knee-deep in one of my absolute favorite shows of all time here for the month of October. There are 93 total Tales from the Crypt episodes, and there are 31 days in October, so it kind of made sense that these numbers, yes, they fit oh so perfectly to cover the bueno, the malo, and the feo of every episode of this series in 3-part installments. So, this was the first time, guys, mi amigos, sin amigos, as I like to say, where I was torn about the bueno, because there were 2 episodes that were really neck and neck in these 3, and so I had to kind of sit there and think for a second, look off in the distance, but, you know, I ended up going with my gut. It was one that I did not remember super well. It was written and directed by Fred Dekker. Yes, that's right. Take a look at that guy. And the story actually originated in Tales from the Crypt number 22. That's right, in the old 50s EC Comics before the comic code came in and destroyed everything. But this episode, Fred Dekker, man, he was really getting his hands on Tales from the Crypt from the very first season on. He scripted a couple episodes, and this was his first time getting behind the camera. And it's got Terry Hatcher in it looking oh so beautiful. You know, Ms. Lois Lane for those fans of the New Adventures of Superman in the 90s like I was. But the real star of this one is that slimeball Miguel Ferrer, and he has been in so many iconic just like genre stuff. I mean, he is most notably recognized as the creator, I think, of the RoboCop suit in RoboCop, if I remember his role correctly. So that's what most people might remember him from, but I always think of like his role as Lloyd in The Stand, and his role as the Slimer in Deep Star 6, underrated movie. But he's done so many things, man, and he is very slimish in this one, although one of my favorite roles of his is not a slimish one. It's where he's in Hot Shots Part Dukes, and he's running around going, "War, it's fantastic." But yeah, he is really the shining light, or the darkness, I should say, in this. He is basically the manager of Terry Hatcher, who is a model, and she gets a little carousy with one of the cameramen and one of her photographers, I should say, and he does not approve because he wants to make her his own, and they've broken up, or they're still kind of living, who the hell knows, man, you know how relationships go. But this one is, it's got some good gore, it's got some good kills, it builds the suspense well, and Fred Dekker, man, the Monster Squad, the Night of the Creeps, he's working on the new Predator with Shane Black right now. I mean, solid guy. So he gets the bueno, man. This particular episode, it's called The Thing from the Grave, and it is damn good. So possibly one of my favorite Tales from the Crypts of all time. So it was nice to be refreshed about it. Unfortunately, we do have to get to the Malo, and the Malo story comes from Shock Suspense Stories number 11, which was another comic in the EC Comics family at the time. And this one was called Three's a Crowd, and it's one of, man, there are so many episodes in Tales from the Crypt about cheating, suspicion of cheating, gold diggers. I mean, I guess that was really a fear in the 50s, was that type of, you know, those type of problems behind closed doors and, you know, domestic life or something. But I don't know, you've basically not got any big stars in this one, and even the director was a no-name. I'm not even going to mention because it's the first one where the guy who directed this didn't even have a Wikipedia. Yeah, so no big names like Schwarzenegger or Zemeckis, or, you know, even like the Walter Hills, or the guys who have done more notable stuff. This director, donuts as far as big stuff. But you know, I'd say the only interesting thing is that the lead, who is this husband who's positive his wife is cheating on him with his former best man, he does his best Gary Busey crazy impression, and he starts getting those eyes, man, near the end as he's really kind of unraveling things. He goes to a cabin to celebrate his anniversary, but with this other guy. So even though he's got all these crazy suspicions and whatnot, I'd say a lot of them were warranted, you know, because of the fact that, you know, he's pretty positive this affair is going on. But I guess the only red flag would be that they wouldn't be so blatant about it. But, you know, you really don't know until the very end if it's actually happening or not. So no spoilers here, but yeah, this one from the Shock Suspense Stories, it is definitely our thumbs down from Jaime En Fuego here for my month-long Tales from the Crypt coverage. So now we finally come to the Feo, and the Feo is actually the episode that was in the running to be the bueno, because it is another damn good episode. It's called Till Death, and this one was actually directed by Chris Wallace, I'm not sure, he spells it W-A-L AS. So, you know, I'm probably mispronouncing that. This guy was actually an Academy Award winner for his effects work in David Cronenberg's The Fly, and so based on that success, he was actually able to get behind the lens for the first time with The Fly 2, which some people consider it to be actually even more gruesome than The Fly 1, where they had Eric Stoltz in there as the you know, grown-up kid. But yeah, this one deals with voodoo, and there's basically this rich tycoon guy. He's trying to build this amazing resort hotel type thing, but he's down in, I'm not sure if he's in Jamaica or some sort of he's basically in the Caribbean, and you know, his entire land where he's planning to build this on is like quicksand and swamps and all this stuff like that. Who knows, maybe they're like somewhere in the south in like the bayou, I don't know. But long story short, this guy meets this British, you know, just, I guess she's very, you know, well-fortuned or something, I don't know. She's there visiting a business partner of his, and so he's immediately infatuated, and he wants to make her his own. But she doesn't like him, and honestly, she's kind of a biatch, and, you know, he's like, how can I get this woman to swoon and actually take me on? So what does he do? Yeah, he goes and he consults his ex, who is like a crazy voodoo priestess almost, who gives him some liquid to, you know, I guess kind of brainwash her, so to speak, into loving him. So you gotta think though, man, that is not the best logic, and that is some feo right there. The dumb things, the ugly things that people will do for love, man. I'm telling you, it's it gets pretty graphic. It's right up there as far as the gore content goes, maybe even more so. Chris Wallace, or Wallace as I pronounce his name, he does I'm sure he did the effects for this too, you know, and he did all kinds of other effects, like he created the gremlin, and he did the melting faces on Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, this guy, top notch, and so that is probably a good indication about the kind of ugly gore you're gonna see in this episode, because he ends up putting in a few more drops than he was supposed to in this. So it's well worth a watch. It's really awesome. Really, it's got some humorous moments. It's got some great gore, as I mentioned, and so yeah, Till Death is it's the feo, but it was really close, guys, to really close to being a bueno here. So I highly recommend the first and the third. Definitely not Three's a Crowd, but you know, if you're making your way through the entire series like I am right now, hey, you know, it's at least worth a watch. So I extend a grande gracias to HBO, to John Kassir, to everybody who put this amazing show together that I'm having so much fun getting reacquainted with. I'm Jaime En Fuego. Once more, you can find me on social media at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you know, all that jazz, and obviously here on YouTube where you're watching me right now. So once again, I extend a grande gracias for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. Today is October 4th. Tomorrow will be the 5th, and I will have 3 more episodes of Tales from the Crypt coverage coming at you. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing all of you mañana. So until then, sin amigos, adios. Peace out.